Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. You are looking at my recently acquired Nordic Husqvarna automatic, and it is model 51. You may be more used to seeing the Husqvarna Vikings. I think I've had them on my channel before, and they are often those lovely free arm machines. This is um, the same company, the same technology in the same time period, but this, of course, is the flatbed version. Now, those free arm machines have a power reduction gear. I do not believe this machine does, but this machine has a lot to offer. I sound like a Husqvarna salesman from 1960. Ha. So let's take a look. We're going to start inspecting the machine. Remember, when I picked this machine up, this was one of those porch pickup things. So it wasn't like, I did talk to the seller, and the seller told me, they said, well, they were gonna get around to fixing it, and they hadn't. And she said she thinks something's broken on it. I'm like, oh no, but I was too curious. I just couldn't help myself. I'm like, okay, so I said, I don't know if this machine was in the owner's or the original owner's family, or I'm going to reposition things here just a bit, or was it in the family, or did they get it somewhere? I don't know. What I do know is they had not gotten around to it, because even the thread, this machine has cobwebs, and even the old thread that's still in the upper portion of the machine, it's got cobwebs. The cobwebs have cobwebs, so it's been sitting a long time. And I was moving over here to the hand wheel, and it wouldn't move at first, and I wasn't sure what was going on with it, and it may not have been stuck for the reasons we commonly think machines are stuck, because of old oil acting like glue, although I'm not convinced that this thing is it is nowhere near ready to sew. And so if you get one of these, don't plug it in and try to sew with it. You could cause more harm, and because it's not ready. I mean, it's just not. So let's just kind of do an overview, right? Pretend this is you. You just got this machine home, and you're like, oh, I've never seen this thing. Oh, you may think it looks cool. I did, but you don't have to think it looks cool. Nonetheless, what are we looking for? I am going to, first I want to see if everything's here. Now, I've never seen this machine before, but this looks like stitch length. This looks like stitch width. And I think this is probably, it doesn't have left, middle, right, but it does have a picture that tells you, I think this is the needle position. I'm just going to guess at that. And then we also have, I remember this from my earlier working with vintage Husqvarnas. This device here, you grab it with thumb and forefinger, and it slides towards you. It's 5. It goes from 5 to 1, I believe. Now I have to go back. It's been a while, folks, so bear with me. But I think that this is used in conjunction with the cams in some way. But I'll have to go back. I honestly, it has been years since I got to put my hands on one of these. That's one of the reasons I was so excited to see it and to try my luck at saving it, because I don't even know what's wrong with it. Okay, what do we know? What else have we got going on here? Well, we have a button down here, and with the picture and the location, I'm 99.9% sure that has to do with lowering feed dogs. That's the back burner thing we can get to. Typically, that's not our biggest concern, but we'll get there. Now we want to make sure, and you want to make sure, that you are not missing any thread guides, because it can make for a tough experience. All right, I'm going to bring the machine just a little closer to the edge here so we can get to the back. Okay, we have 2 thread spools. I don't know if it's for double needle sewing, or for some other purpose. It's likely for that. So your thread, of course, will come here. First thread guide is here. Here, as in, all right, camera person, move the camera over so people can see. Here, and then to here, okay? And, the reason I do it this way is if you're not sure if you're missing a thread guide, look at the machine and say, hey, I'm going to pretend like I'm threading the machine, and where would the thread go? Okay. And anyway, we're going to come, I'm assuming we're going to come straight down, form the letter J. We've got tension discs here. And when I pull up with the pressure bar lift, I don't know if you guys can see, but this moves. So I've got some movement there. And the dial turns, right? Oh, okay. It just keeps going. It doesn't seem to stop. Okay. I don't know if it originally had, the Singers obviously have they have like a stop washer on there. But anyway, that doesn't mean anything necessarily wrong. And I was looking for this. Do I have this? Yes, I do. And be very gentle here. This is your check spring. Those of you who are new, you see that spring? Be very respectful of that spring, okay? Now I'm just taking my finger very gently touching it, and it bounces back. Has good bounce. That makes me happy. That's a good sign. Now, all right, when I turn the hand wheel, the needle bar is not moving, but I have a funny feeling that's related to something having to do with bobbin winding releases, because that can cause issues. But let's continue on here. So, all right, so we got our check spring, right? So you come around, we're going to go over the check spring and down, and then underneath, I think we're going to go underneath this piece, and then we'll come up, and our take-up arm, which would normally be up here for threading, right? Then we'll come back down, and oh, you can still see where some of the thread is still there. The thread covered in cobwebs is still there. Okay, so let me move this, get our power cord out of our way here. It's a little tougher it's harder for me to visualize it. It may be harder for you. All right. Okay. So the thread from the take-up arm should, I believe, come down to this little curlicue thread guide. I'm very happy to see that. And then as it comes further down, let me lower the camera, you all. You should be able to see another thread guide right here, right? And now we're going to check to see that the manual will tell us for sure. But one way to know if your needle is installed correctly is you compare what the manual says to what you find. How do you know which way the needle is installed? By looking at it. Kind of hard to tell, but you can feel it. Okay, is it over here? What am I feeling? I'm looking for the groove. Oh, okay. So the groove of the needle is out facing the front. Now, it could be, the European companies were the first to go away from left to right needle threading and they changed to the setup for front to back needle threading, right? You see this on Berninas around the same time. So it's possible that is how it is. But don't assume, just because the needle is in there that way, that's how it's to be threaded. It could also have come loose. It could have, I'm going to remove the needle, right? In fact, does this turn? Oh, okay. Our thumb screw turned rather nicely. That was merciful. I was expecting a lot more fight. Okay. I never keep the old needles in there, and it's kind of in my way at the moment, or through the process of restoration. It's one of the last things I do. All right, so we have a thread guide here, and you access it actually from the side, right? It comes down. Well, we're in this one here. You come down and you come back over here, and it comes that way. Okay, and that would make sense, right? Because then you would feed the thread directly toward the back. All right, so, well, that old piece of thread needed to come out anyway. All right, you guys see it? Well, we got thread poking out here. That's our bobbin thread, which is still up. The bobbin thread tail is still there. How about that? Now, the pressure bar lever moves. It hasn't been oiled in 40-something years or something. It's definitely needing some service, but it moves. So that's good. All right, what else? Let's take a look here. Ooh, oh wow. I see all kinds of, I see lint, yes, but I also see, do you guys see that? That is a hair. Well, I think that's a doggy hair. That's all right. It wouldn't be the first time I've had a machine with dog hair in it. Um, that can all be. Well, I'll clean that out with my lint brush. And definitely, you definitely want to clean everything before the machine gets lubricated or oiled. And you can see with all the dust sticking to the presser foot bar. Again, this machine has sat for a long time. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's actually in this light here, you see all the. I thought it was a spider web. It's not. It's just dust and hair and. Whew, Husqvarna, Sweden. How about that? But anyway, we have again as a reminder for all of you, these doors, they are really cool, but they're also very vulnerable. Their hinges are very delicate, so be gentle. Okay, now we're going to go underneath in just a minute, but for the moment, what I'd like to do is, without dropping my plug and breaking anything here, we're going to spin. That's why I set it up on this piece of wood here. I call it my sewing machine, Lazy Susan. I'm going to do this. Oh, before, I've got ahead of myself. So, this piece here that you pull out, it is not wanting to move, and I'm not going to force it. That's going to need servicing. Now, this turned without any resistance at all. In fact, if you look over here, look at the needle clamp, you'll see it. Okay, that's interesting. That tells me that my zigzag is not locked up. It's not ready to run. It needs to be cleaned and oiled appropriately. Let's look at the rest of our controls. This, of course, is the stitch length controller. And when I move it, I don't know if it's going to show up here, but my feed dogs do move, and that makes me happy. Okay, so that's not locked up. And then this is our stitch width control. And that's interesting. It doesn't click like some of the other machines from the period. You turn it, now it's stiff, it's moving, and the needle clamp is moving, but I'm not going to keep playing with it because it definitely, if it was fighting me and wouldn't move, I would just stop right there. Now this, oh no, I'm not even bothering. That thing's stiff as a board, and it almost always is on every machine I restore. And it's, if yours is, don't worry. It's, we can deal with that. There's something to, that's usually, it needs to be serviced and restored, but it's not something that we have to be all that stressed about. Now, this is interesting, and okay, let me just let that cord just lay there because it's gonna be a nuisance if I don't. Okay, so this is interesting. If you look here, ooh boy, someone has been inside investigating something, and I can tell that this straight head bolt, it's not stripped, thankfully, but it's chewed on. Somebody was doing something with it, and the hand wheel might actually be plastic, but it's a very hard plastic. What do we have here? We have a very, very long belt that goes down to the motor pulley, which is down here. In fact, if you look where my finger is, I'm touching the motor pulley way down here. So it's a fairly long belt. That's okay. Some of the Neckies have very long belts as well. Notice we have bored and threaded holes for a possible rear-mounted motor, which is interesting because the actual motor, we'll see in a minute, it's actually underneath the bed. And we have this. This, of course, is where you plug in your, come here. Ooh. You plug in the that dual-bladed cord that goes with the foot pedal. That goes there. But this is often, most of the time on machines, you'll say, oh, well, that must be my clutch knob. But I don't know how that yet works because actually this post is where you put a bobbin for bobbin winding. But the question is, well, how do you actually wind a bobbin? Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I'm gentle, because this moves. And there is, believe it or not, what looks like, if I can get this to stop, get this tripod to behave. So right here is a hole, and I'm wondering if that's an oiling hole. But notice that this moves in and out. And I haven't seen this, I haven't gone through the manual yet to truly understand, but if it is one of these things that you push in to engage, because remember, bobbin winders, you often, either you move a switch or you push the post with its bobbin tire up against the hand wheel. So that could explain why, oh boy, I'm getting all kinds of crumblies here. Oh, all right. Let's come down, guys, and I'll show you what I'm saying. I was turning the hand wheel, and let's get this down a little bit more. I want you to see what happened here. So, okay, I'm turning the hand wheel. You're going to see the belt moving. That's good. At least the belt is moving, right? Now, the needle's not moving at the moment, but again, I think my first instinct is we're going to have to investigate how this bobbin winder mechanism works, because it may be the source of this. But right now we got other things. Look at this. You guys see all the crumbling? Do you know what that is? That is very likely the original belt. And these belts were made of rubber, and of course they also have, oh, you can see pieces crumbling off of it. Now, these belts were made of rubber, and then they were also woven, they had fiber woven in them. But this thing has got to be pushing 70 years old. And if it's the original, I think it is, you know, the rubber has basically, it is retired. And we're going to retire this belt. I know I'm going to have to replace it. Black belts, sometimes, I think it may have even been green. I can see green rubber coming off of it. So if you have, by the way, a machine with a belt that's like this, don't use it. Even if the belt is not broken or torn, when a belt crumbles like this, it's going to send this powder, crumbling powder everywhere, and we don't want to get it into the motor, right? We got to check out the motor. That's a separate issue. But, and this here looks like a thread guide of some sort for bobbin winding. I'm just going to guess. Now, this is interesting to me though, because a lot of machines that have motors mounted in places such as underneath, they often don't, you know, this is solid. They don't give you that option. But if it is, if you have one of these, this motor may run beautifully. I don't know. But if the motor doesn't work, there may be a way to retrofit, you know, a new motor and brace. And but we'll cross that bridge if we have to. Hopefully we don't. I'd love to use the original motor. They're beautiful motors. All right. Well, there you go, folks. This machine has not been loved in a long time. You can tell. I mean, look at this filth. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's really bad. But I mean, it doesn't scare me. But I mean, it tells you a lot about what's been going on with the machine or not been going on with the machine for a long time. All right. As we come back around here to the back. And by the way, the paint on this machine is really nice. I don't know if that's a stain or a chip. I can't tell. There's a little bit here on the edge, but this is the back. Usually you see it on the front. The front seems to be quite nice. All right. Now, the Husqvarnas are designed with access. Now, these bolts come off here, and I'm trying to remember if and when I took one of these off, the whole thing. But for normal, everyday service, there we go. That's what we're looking at. This is the servicing access. Now, what do we see here? Oh boy. I see right here, I see there's my B cam. That's where the B cam was, which is kind of what I thought. A, B, C. I'm trying to remember how many cams. Yeah, A, B, C, D. So I have 4 cams. You guys tell me if there are more. There may be more. Maybe there were special upgrade cams. I don't know. But here we go. So what do we have? Now, I want you guys to look at something. And I think this is what the owner, the prior owner, was noticing and concerned about. You guys see this? That's plastic. Now, it's not surprising. Like I said, you see this, you see the use of limited use, small amount of use of plastics in many European brands in the late 50s, early 60s. We see it with Bernina. We see it with some of the FOFs, not all of them, but some of them. And we see it here. And now, this, I believe, you see, I think that the prior owner thought that the plastic was broke. She told me it was broke, and I'm like, oh no, but I'm wondering, it looks broke. It actually does. I understand why she said that, but I'm wondering if perhaps, sorry about that, if maybe it's designed, I'm hoping that it's designed to do what I'm seeing here. But right now, the hand wheel turns and then it stops. So it's something is going on. Now, you guys remember the post for the bobbin winder? Okay. It is actually on, it's actually over here. There is a, you can't see this from here. Let's see if I lower this down. It may give you guys a better view. This is one of those odd things to try to highlight. I don't know if you can see it, but there is, just past this piece, there is a plastic gear. And right now it's not engaged. It's not turning. But remember the post I showed you for the bobbin winder? If I push that in, oh no, if I push it out, well, no. Okay. All right, that stops now. What happens if I push it in? If I push it in, it should engage. But, now, I just pushed it in, gave it a little more push, and it moved. What does that tell me? What that tells me is I probably should investigate. I'm trying to figure out if it's going to work. Now I see the gear moving. There is a gear behind this plastic piece here that appears to be made of, I believe that's made of steel. But there's a plastic gear on this side. Now, what does that tell me? I'm hoping that this is not broken. Obviously, the fact that the piece that I just pushed in and need to pull out, it obviously hasn't been oiled in ages. So that was a risk I probably shouldn't have taken if I'd known that little snapping was going to happen. Then what I would do is figure out where I need to oil this. But again, how do I figure out where to oil it and where not to? Because I really don't want to. I want this plastic. I'm not yet convinced the plastic's broken. I'm hope not. Because if it's broken, well, I have a beautiful paperweight. Unless I can get parts for it. But let's see. Yeah. Okay, that just came out. Oh, okay. Okay. This ring. All right. We need pointers. This ring, this white ring here, it either comes to where it's at, or how about a zoom there? Help your viewers there, cameraman. Help them see what you're talking about. Okay, you may be able to see the gear, the white toothy gear in the back. But right here, this piece, this mechanism, it moved to the right when I pushed the post, the bobbin winder post. And there's a piece of steel, aluminum or steel, and notice it passes this way. But it is shaped in such a way that when you push it, it helps this plastic piece glide and move. So this is essentially the you either engage the machine or you engage the bobbin winder. But what I believe I need to do, I need to figure out how to get that to work more smoothly so it does not disturb this plastic, because it could be, I mean, I don't know yet, guys. I really don't know. What do you think? Is it broken, or is it just, because now that plastic gear, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's turning. but then the machine wants to stop, and I'm not sure. That could simply be the binding. The whole machine could be bound up, right? Because, I mean, that's just, this thing hasn't moved in forever. So I haven't even started to try to clean or oil the machine. I got to do that, and that again. In fact, this is a very good reason. I think I just justified my own thinking here. Remember, I've told all of you many times, always try to clean and lubricate the moving parts of a machine certainly before you run it. And if the machine parts are stiff, I didn't really realize that my bobbin winder post was kind of stiff, or I wouldn't have done what I just did. Because you take a chance on breaking things. But, you know, if you try to get your machine to run before you have woken it up, you could break something. And it's usually, if you're going to break something, it's usually a piece of plastic. So that's the last thing we want to do. Now, what else is going on here? I think I see another plastic gear. Oh, yes. We don't just have one, we got two. And this is really, you know, it's part of the heartbreak of so many of the European brands. They have some gorgeous steel in here. I mean, the construction is really well made. But, you know, you've got, you know, this, you have you see the worm gear? That's metal right there where I'm pointing. But then look right below it. You guys see that? That's a white gear. Now, I don't know that the gear's broken, unless that's the reason why this machine is not wanting to move. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm hoping it's not broken. Please don't be broken. No. I have not diagnosed anything really in terms of whether it's broken or not. Okay, the rest of the machine shows we've got, there was a light bulb, but I'm not immediately worried about that. Now, okay, you guys, remember I showed you in that white Model 510 where they were using a rubber timing belt? Well, Husqvarna's and German Pfaff's, they use timing belts, and this one has sort of a chain link, not chain link, it's a, it has a steel cleated belt. I'm not sure I'm using the right words. The point is, your timing is determined by this belt. These belts are, as we like to jokingly refer to, as unobtainium for the most part. It's even really tough to get a part like this for a German Pfaff these days. So if your timing belt this one appears to look great. I don't see any damage, and I don't see any oil or grease. You do not want to get anything on this belt because, again, petroleum products and sewing machine oil it's very refined, but it's, you know, and grease, they cause rapid degradation of synthetic parts. And I don't know if this belt is made of nylon or what, but let's keep the oil and any kind of lubrication away from the belts. That will help. That's good of any belt, but you know, you can replace a motor belt more easily than you can this thing. So, well, oh, by the way, while we're here, let's make sure this works. So this is, oh, okay. I'm doing this from memory from some years back, but there's a lever here. If the manual would probably show this. When I drop this manual, let's see if this should be how a cam gets released. Now, the manual will tell me, oh, well, you got to have a cam in place to run the machine or not. I don't know. In any case, now you can really see, where are you, flashlight? Now you can see, if you weren't sure I was right about the plastic gear, there it is. It's white, made of nylon. I'm sure it was impressive to people back in the day. But if you have a hybrid machine or literally a vintage golden era machine where they were starting to use plastics, it's not an immediate disaster because they could be in good shape. And if they are, you want to be aware that they are there. Okay? So that's going to be crucial. All right, so that is that. What do we lack, guys? I promised you that we would look underneath the machine. Let me put that little cam out of harm's way there. All right, so I'm going to close the hatch, and we're going to turn the machine back around. Oh, well, we're going to make the attempt anyway. I have always thought that whoever designed these machines was very clever. Because they were trying to make their machines distinctive. You know, the people at Necky were really good at that. All right, so we're going to take, I'm just letting my cord lay on the floor because I don't want it to fall on the floor. All right, now let's I think I'm going to do this a different way. Kind of working against myself here. When you make these videos, I'm trying to pay attention to the machine, but also pay attention to what's showing up on the camera. And so it's needless to say, restoring a sewing machine is actually a lot faster when you're not videotaping it. But then, where's the fun in that? All right, so I'm going to pull the machine forward, and then I'm going to roll up my Singer green blanket. This is an old blanket. You guys have seen it on the channel. I think I used it when I was showcasing what I call my favorite brand of machines to restore for many reasons. Okay, I just rolled this up. It's just a cotton blanket. I've rolled it up, and very slowly and carefully I am going to tilt my machine back. Always make sure that the hatch on the back is closed. Don't let it fly open, right, when you're doing this, because if you do, it may not turn out well. Okay, so make sure that there's nothing that's going to get pinched or crimped or bent or broke. Okay, so with two hands, I'm going to tilt it back. Ooh. Oh. Now, any of you who remember, I think I remember, it's been a while, the light fixture for these machines is one of the most clever I've ever seen. I don't know if you can see this. I was grabbing it here. You grab here, it's on the left side, and you simply swing this down. How about that? Isn't that cool? You just swing it down, and there's your bulb. I'm not even going to try to make that light work. That light looks like it's seen better days, but I love it. It's a pivoting, swiveling light fixture. One of the fanciest I think I've ever seen, but that's not why we're here. We are now going to lower the periscope, as they say, and we're going to take a look at what lies underneath this mystery of a machine. Mystery why it's not working at the moment. All right, what do we have? As our light begins to ebb at the end of the day, okay, we have, of course, obviously this section here, and this is this. We see a bolt here, so I'm assuming this comes off. And I suspect it may be an access point for oiling or lubricating this, because this is a different setup than the free arm version I'm used to. Remember, I've not seen this version before. Here, I'm curious. I haven't taken this off. This is the race cover right here. This is the race cover, 2 bolts, This is something you may have seen on the Singer 228, I believe. I think I have that number right. You guys see that? So we have steel, lovely steel, and then we have a plastic piece up here. So again, with the Singers that have the whole race cover is actually made of plastic, I believe, but they make reproductions. Why? Because Singer made so many machines, and there's a market for them. But for this, I'm going to be extra careful with that because I don't know where I'd get another one. So again, this is and this is some sort of plastic or fiberglass material. I'm not quite sure. All right. So, but whenever I turn, when I turn the hand wheel, I'm not getting any movement of the actual machine. But again, we know that with machines that are asleep, there can be many things causing the machine not to move. I just don't know what it is at the moment yet. All right, we have a motor, a very large, long motor, actually, and it has information on it. And because this was Husqvarna Canada, this motor will be 110, 120 voltage, so we're not worried about that. Let's come around, and now obviously underneath the motor you can see where the timing belt comes underneath there, but let's come over here. Now, what do we see here? Well, there's a little box here, and this box contains the main power cord that goes into that you would plug into the wall. It comes in here, and this reminds me of probably some sort of power, not a power station, but a power transfer area like you see on Neckies. And then right next to it is the plug for the foot pedal, right? So all of that electric coordination happens there. I see there are two bolts that you can remove this. Now of course, this belt here, it is not yet apparent to me when I go to take this belt's got to come off. The belt is crumbling, and it's only going to create misery and woe. We do not want woe. So how do we get the motor out? What do we see? If we get the motor out, but we have to loosen, we have to create slack somewhere to get the belt off. So, wonder how that's done. I'm not sure. Let's come back. Oh, well, this section, remember, this section is attached. Remember how the FOF was? It has an attached section. There's a bolt here. You can't get to it because the motor's there. And then there's another one down below. So I have to see how that works. Let's come back. We have a really giant brush cap. Wow, one of the biggest brush caps I've ever seen. Let's lower down just a little bit more here. And we'll see if it's even possible to understand what goes on with this motor. So I see okay. Well, I see there's a rod here, but there's no bolt. And it looks like the motor pivots on this, or it hangs on the machine with this. And then, what is that? Oh, this is, I'm not really sure what this is, to be honest. Let's zoom in here for you guys and see if you know what this is. Is this it almost looks like it's a threaded bolt. Is it a broken bolt? Don't know. Hope not. Well, interesting. Yeah. I often have these moments with European brands. So, because again, I don't know if I can get a service manual for this. If any of you have ever removed a motor just like this, let me know. Because this piece here looks like it goes into and contacts this little shaft. Got to figure out exactly where the motor releases. Because the motor is obviously designed to come off. We just don't know where exactly it's designed to come off. All right, well, there will be more research ahead, obviously. I had hoped that this was a bolt that you could unscrew. No, of course not. Well, I do not believe this is going to be in the owner's manual. I'd be shocked if it was, especially, this is true generally of most owner's manuals and definitely for European makes. But even the Singers, I don't think, would have told you how to remove a motor. But the service manuals should. Oh, look here, we have this piece. I wonder. Well, folks, this is one of those moments when you study and you ponder how this machine was conceived and how it worked the way it did. All right, well, this is not going to be a quick overhaul. This is going to be, and no overhaul of a new machine is. The first time I overhauled the Singer, it took me a long time. So again, if you've got one of these machines, good for you. They look like incredible machines. You just got to figure out how to service it. There is a way. If any of my viewers know where I might access a service manual for a Husqvarna machine like this, let me know. Or maybe you have one. And we'll see. You know, Singer service manuals are, they're fairly easy to get, just like the user manuals are. European machines, I don't know. I'm going to have to go searching. But I'm still excited to have this machine, even though it doesn't run, and I actually don't know if it ever will run. But we're going to find out, guys, because that's what we do here, right? We're determined to try to save something that was built incredibly well. And just because we don't understand it doesn't mean we can't. I mean, that's kind of why we're here, I suppose. Anyway, thank you all again for watching this channel. Again, please consider supporting my efforts. Click on any of the Buy Me a Coffee links, and they will take you right to my Buy Me a Coffee page. And any support you can give would be fantastic. And let's see what the next video and investigation brings for this machine, because I have some research to do. And maybe some of you can help with that research. Let me know what you think, guys. Put your comments down below. We'll see you next time.